Well, hey there everyone. How y'all doing? This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. Welcome back to another day in my 2020 beekeeping season. We're going all the way from last winter through to the next fall here in my small operation in southeast Louisiana. And as I always tell you, this is a how I do video, not a how-to video. If you guys happen to like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That does help it get out to those looking for bee videos and hits their recommended page. Well folks, it's September 14th, Monday afternoon. I hope you guys can hear me. I have the Don Bearden microphone muffler on my camera. It's a cotton ball and rubber bands. Seemed to work before. I hope it works today. Video is actually going to be about pollen traps. All right, I'm redoing the intro because I was originally doing a video today about Hurricane Sally. Hurricane Sally was looking like it was going to come on up here to Louisiana, right across us, and it has taken a turn. So I was going to record a video. I've had this pollen video recorded now, this pollen trap video recorded now for about 2 weeks, or maybe a week and a half. And well, then I had Justin's video with the hive damage, and then I was going to put it up. Well, then I said, well, here comes Sally. So I was going to prepare a couple items for the storm and show you what it did, but it has since moved on. Okay, so talking about these hurricanes, now I am in no way a meteorologist, but what I'm telling you from my experiences of living on the Gulf Coast for so many years is when I see these weak tropical depressions and such that form in the Gulf and begin to gain momentum in the Gulf, when they put the line, the track itself inside the cone on our area directly, 3 to 4 days out, it normally moves. It just does. So when I saw it on there, I wasn't really sweating it too much. Started getting a little closer, said, okay, well, I need to go tie down my supers because they're going to get hit with an east wind, and I need to at least maybe go tie the hives at the pond to the 4x4s. So if the east wind hits them, they can't flip over. And if they do happen to topple over, at least they're all in one piece. And I can flip them back up, maybe save them. But that was all I was really going to do, because I don't know if you watched Dirt Rooster's one video where he talked about Hurricane Laura coming in. It's just not a lot. I'm about like him. There's not a lot I do for my hives. I pick up my yard. And after living on the Gulf Coast for so many years, I keep my porch and everything else pretty much free of anything that I have to move anyway. So there's not a lot of preparation for me in hives and homes and stuff. I just make sure my truck is out from under the trees. I make sure our cars are safe where they need to be, and we pick up any loose stuff around the barn. And that's what I was going to do today. But as I said, that track moved, and it moved east. And that's normally, if they initially put the track on us for a weak storm that's building in the Gulf, it seems like it always does move one way or the other, which is good. If it would have been sitting over maybe in Biloxi or Lake Charles or something like that, then I would have been a little worried, because then it kind of moves. I say worried, I'm not worried about it, but I would have been concerned. Now strong hurricanes, on the other hand, when they're coming across the Atlantic and they're already Cat 1, Cat 2, and they come across the Florida Straits, or when they come across any island chain or something and they're still rolling at a Category 1 or 2, coming off of there, those are the ones, when they have the line on us, those are the ones I get a little concerned about. It seems like those, I don't know if it's because they just have a lot of momentum or what, but those things seem to track right on where they say they track. But these weaker ones, hey, you really got to get a day or so out, just a day or so, maybe 24 hours to almost 36 before we really start sweating it. Another thing we do, we always have fuel. We always have our fuel. We start that at the beginning of hurricane season. As I fill up gas cans for the mower, I always take a gallon gas can extra with me. I always keep, fuel during hurricane season ready. We always have water and everything ready. So there's not a big scramble for us getting ready for storms. We don't, because people just wait to the last minute and go hoard everything. And it's like, come on folks, start early, get ready, have a week's worth of supplies on hand, think about what you're going to have to do, get your LP filled, do what it is you have to do. But folks just don't do it. So what we will get is we'll probably get some rain. If you look behind me, in the east and in the south, we have dark clouds. That's the storm. Right now we're getting northerly, northwesterly winds, of course, because it's coming over to us like this. One thing about hurricanes, if you haven't been through them, or you haven't lived around them, is you can't predict the winds for the most part looking at the track and where it's going to make landfall. Right now, Dirt Rooster, he's in the eye, he's in the line. Hoping the best for him and his family and all those guys over there. But they're the ones that are right now in the track from where he lives. But as I was saying, you can always watch the winds. So if you're on the west side of the storm, it's a little better. On the east side, it's rough. We were supposed to be on the east side for a while, or right on the track. So I was concerned about those supers in front of my barn getting hit with an east wind and knocking them over. And again, the hives at the pond being up on top of that hill. Got two big paving stones on top of them. But still, just wanted to tie them off so if they fell over, at least they'd be whole. These, they're just kind of shielded in the trees. You just hope for the best. But again, you can predict the winds. Again, you can see the skies are out there. They're kind of ominous looking, but it's so far over. That's just a big band that's coming around. And if you look on the radar right now, you can see it. 4 o'clock advisory is going to tell us more, which it's almost 4, it may even be 4 now. And it's probably going to move a little further east again. Hurricanes are funny as far as how you don't want to wish them on somebody else, but you also don't want them. It's just a weird thing. You're grateful that it's not coming, but then your heart starts going out to the people where they are going. It's just I saw a meme today. Bruce Mitchell, Alligator Man, he's a friend of mine, and his meme today said, "Waiting on a hurricane, it's like being stalked by a turtle." It's just a waiting game, but you feel for the folks you know it's going to. You're happy kind of that it didn't come to you, but then you go, wow, then you feel bad about it's just a weird feeling. So, but us in the Gulf Coast, I said in the last video, we see them. We're going to see them sometime or another. We're going to see them, and they're no fun because it's just a lot of cleanup. I don't know if this one would have been terrible, but the storm surge is still going to affect us. We're still going to have high waters unless it keeps moving east. Then what will happen is we'll get a north-northwest wind, and that'll actually push water out of the lake, which would be a good thing for the folks on the rivers and such. But when they come to us, they still push water in, and that's still a problem. So I'm suspecting we got a good breeze today off of it already. It's been windy most of the day. Not windy, it's just been breezy. And we'll get some rain bands coming in. We could use the rain, so that's not the end of the world. But man, I'm going to make sure to say a special prayer tonight for the folks in Gulfport, Biloxi, and especially Mobile. It's going to be kind of rough for them. So what we're going to do instead today is talk about the pollen traps. So I'm going to re-edit my pollen trap video. It was from about a week and a half ago. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you what I do for pollen traps. Here's the deal with those pollen traps. I put them on. I started trapping pollen immediately. That was a mistake. I knew better. I don't know what I was thinking. So I went out the next day, collected a cup of pollen maybe, opened them all back up. The bees need to get used to the entrances first. Get used to the boxes on there, get used to the new bottom boards. So I let them come and go for about 3 days. I began collecting pollen for 2.5 to 3 days. Opened them back up, did not have a great harvest on it, but left them open, went to close them again, and we started getting some rain. Had a couple days of dry, actually about 4 or 5 days of dry. Didn't end up closing them, should have, but then we got more rain, and now we got this coming. So I haven't even been able to trap pollen since the little bit of a harvest I did, and it wasn't much. So again, I got a total of maybe 3 cups of pollen at the most, I think. But I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to add that little bit of harvest to the end of it. So it may be a mixed and matched little video, but it is about my pollen traps and what I do and how I do it. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful pollen footage. So what are we doing today? Well, I mentioned in the video yesterday I was finishing up OA. So as you can see, I'm soaked. I was going to go in and change shirts and, get ready for the video, but I'm already out here. Now the sun's coming out, that's good. Maybe it'll help dry out. It's very humid. This morning I already did oxalic acid treatments. The third and last one, I decided I'm not going to do a fourth one. What I'll do is I'll come back around December and I'll do another one. Now here, this deep in the south, we still have brood in the hives well into winter. not near as much. And there may be times we have a really cold winter. Obviously there is a brood break when they cluster for a few days and things like that. But for the most part, we begin having brood again in into January. So we don't really go broodless, let's just say, or you can't really pinpoint a broodless point. So what I'll do is I'll hit it when there's the least amount of brood in, which is the coldest part of the year for us, which is December into January. And I'll just do another treatment then we'll roll on through. Everybody was alive, everybody was flying, and I went ahead and identified some hives that I want to put pollen traps on. Now then, I've trapped pollen a few years here and there. I've got some pollen traps, and I'm going to show you those. This is some pollen from last year. It's kind of crushed up now, but it actually needs to go back in the freezer. This is raw pollen, and you can have raw and you can have dried. Basically, when it comes right off the legs and into the baskets, when you dump it, it's pretty raw. You need to freeze it or it'll mold because it's got a lot of moisture. Love bugs. Love bugs. And that's what this is. So you can either keep it frozen, you can freeze dry it, which that's a little bit of a process. I'm not really good and familiar with that. Or you can lay it on, like cookie sheets out in the sun and dry it out. And then you want to kind of toss it up in there and might get some of the little debris out. But it's a superfood. It's good for smoothies. Some people take it by the spoonful. I had one guy that was a horse trainer. You know, down the road we have horses, thoroughbreds and such, race horses they raise. And he said he would give them so much, I forget how much it was. I sold him a couple pounds. He would give it to them right before a race. Beats me. I'm not a horse guy. But yeah, so this is what we trap. This is all kind of crushed up again. But you can see. Now I don't trap pollen in the spring because we need pollen for the brood buildup, and I don't feed pollen patties unless I'm, maybe raising a small nuke or a split or something. So we need the pollen then for buildup, and obviously I don't mess with it during the flow because you surely don't want to be slowing your bees down with nectar because it's not bringing in pollen, as much pollen anyway, if any at all. And in the summer I like to get the pollen traps on, but I didn't this year. And then usually mid to late summer and into the fall. Oh, I love bugs. So it's fall, it's going into the fall, late summer right now. A lot of pollen coming in. So I'm going to put in some traps. Now let me show you what I got. Alright guys, so this particular trap here, this trap is the easiest to install. It goes on, these go into the entrance. You got to have a good bottom board. And one thing about trapping pollen, you can't have any leaks in the hive. So I got some steel wool that I'll plug a couple holes. One of the hives I want to trap in has got a hole in it. This is the easiest one. The manufacturer of this one does say, though, you don't want it out in rainstorms. But this one basically slips into the front of the hive. You close this door here. There, the door is closed. You're trapping pollen. This door slides out, and that's where your pollen goes. Dirt Rooster had a video out. His dad was trapping pollen on one of these, and they work really well. I had two of them. I gave one away because I had the other ones now. But I've used this one about 3 years ago. It works just fine. Only thing you gotta watch out for is when you're done trapping, this door goes up and you slide it over and it hangs on a little peg right there. And sometimes it can fall down and you're trapping again. You don't want to trap pollen for more than 2 or 3 days. Then you want to give them pollen back. You can't starve them with pollen. If they're bringing it in, there's a reason. So this one works good. Again, you can see it goes. These go into the entrance, and they actually have these screws you can stick in to keep them from falling out. But I can't remember. I haven't used this in a couple years, so I can't remember where I put those screws at. But I might use this one on one of the hives. But we do got a lot of rain coming. It can take some drizzle. It's just big rainstorms and constant rains. They say it, it leaks right here, and you can get your pollen wet, and it'll spoil. Now this is the man leg version. This is not my favorite. This one's not my favorite. All right, the way this one works, it's got a side drawer. Nothing in the back. You can flip it to this side, switch it. But this one here, the way this one works, this takes the place of your bottom board altogether. So you'll pull the bottom board out and you'll have this. It's got these tubes. So the hive will sit on top of here. The bees can come out of here. They can't go back in the tubes, so you have to go through here. When they go through there, they're below these entrances. It forces them up through a screen in here and then back out of here. Okay, I hope you can understand that. So they go in, they basically go in here, up through a screen, back out, and then into the hive. When you're done trapping pollen, you simply pull the tubes. Here's the problem with this one. When you pull the tubes, the bees still go through here. You've got to block this entrance. They don't tell you that. Okay, because what will happen is a lot of the bees will continue to go through here and they'll continue to lose pollen, not even meaning to. So while you're thinking you're not trapping pollen anymore, you are. This trap works fine. There's no problems with it, but that's the issue I have with it. Plus these tubes, I mean, it's just something you can lose, you know. So, I'm going to use it. It works well. So I'll use it. But again, you got to pick a hive where you can get access to the drawer on the right. And with my hive stacked close, I can only do end hive. So I don't have a good hive that's got space. I can't trap with it. The Sundance. This one by far is the superior of the three that I've had experience with. And this one's simple. This one you put it on top of your bottom board. Now it does take them a while to get back used to the entrance, but it's also got side drawer. You can switch to this side. I think they make one with a rear entrance. It'd be nice if they made one with all three entrances, but I guess they sell more that way. This one is very simple. You loosen this up, and this slides up and down. All right, so this takes and goes on your existing bottom board, right? And I'll demonstrate it when I'm out there. But so you put it on the bottom board. I'm doing this one hand, guys. So you put it on the bottom board, and your entrance is right here. So they can keep on coming and going. But when they come back into the normal entrance, they can't get back up into the hive. They have to come through the screen and out this little groove. Because right here you have conical tubes. So they come out and go through the conical tubes and out the existing entrance. And in the end, they can't come through the conical tubes. They have to go through the screen, trapping the pollen. So when you're done trapping pollen, you drop this and close. And now it drops, see, it drops down where your entrance normally is. Closes off your normal entrance and lets them right in the hive. This one, I think, works about the best of all of them. Rainproof. It's very easy to use. And when you're done with it, you take it off and you just keep your bottom board. So, I'm going to go install these. This hive seems to be bringing in a good amount of pollen. I'm going to stick that in there. It's got to go in tight. I'm going to shut it for now. We do have rain coming, but I'm going to watch this one, see what it does with the rain. See if I can keep that under there nice and tight. We'll see what they do. So that's how it goes. We got the door closed. And the drawers in tight and snug, and looks like they're pretty much restricted from going in any other way. So let's see what they do. Alright, so number 10 here, it's pretty active. Got a hole there though I'm gonna have to plug. It's been some rough weather, so I don't know how ornery they're gonna be. A little smoke to them. Yeah, we're catching beetles. I like catching beetles. Oh, goodness. Yes, a full hive. Set that there. Definitely empty on the bottom. So it's actually configured well for what we want. Here's what we're going to do. Ooh, getting stung. Smoke my hand, getting stung. I'm going to put the Sundance on here. Sundance is my trap of choice. You got to set it up so that this slides down. And now that's not trapping pollen. We're going to go ahead and trap pollen today though. So it goes up. Now this is going to force them through the conical openings. They're going to have to come up through the pollen trap. So, full of honey. And then we got to plug this hole. If you don't plug the hole, you'll, because this entrance is going to mess them up for a little bit. Especially when I turn the pollen off. I think I got one on the back. So hopefully you saw me. I plugged that. We're trapping pollen at this point. And yeah, I need to plug the back here. A little steel wool will do the job. Let's put our lid back on. One-handed here. Alright. Little slider in place. Make sure we got no gaps. We're set. That's it, guys. Pollen traps installed. And a beetle. Oh, I missed him. So they're going in, and right now we're trapping pollen. And it's simple. When I'm ready to, I'll give them 2 days, drop that, they'll be able to go straight in and out the hive. That by far to me is the easiest pollen trap I've got out of all of them. This is hive 13. It's bringing in a ton of pollen. It's getting the, it's going to get a different one. This has got beetle baffles on them now. These came out a few years ago. The guy that made them actually lives in Pearl River, Mississippi. And I went over his house and we installed them. I don't know if they worked or not. I'm not going to say they didn't because I don't know. I used them in conjunction with traps and that worked. All right, let's put this Man Lake one on. All right, so with the Man Lake one, we have these tubes in. So right now I'll be trapping pollen, forcing them to go in this entrance, come back out of this entrance through the screen. I got enough room to pull my drawer. Now, what I don't like, again, I told you, is the fact that I've got to block that bottom one when I pull these tubes. And then I got to keep up with the tubes. But touch is life, right? It's not a big deal. They've all calmed down for the morning. They seem to do their pollen in the mornings and in the evenings when it cools down. Oh, that thing is full of, man, these hives are plenty heavy for winter. Golly, there's going to be no feeding on a lot of these. Whew. They're heavy, guys. I mean heavy. Alrighty. Alright, ladies. Back you go. It's a good hive. This hive swarmed, and I didn't get honey off of it this year because it swarmed, but it's built back up. Alright, so we're trapping honey. Now, the bees will come out of the tubes when they come out of the hive, and they'll go in the groove. Now, see them down here, that's where they, I got a beetle on the camera. That's where they were, their other entrance was, so they're trying to figure it out right now. So these traps do take them a while. They have to figure things out. Hey, look at the love bugs. You almost think they're slow-moving bees at a distance. They don't do nothing. They won't take over a hive. Bees will take care of them, but look at them all. Why are they love bugs? Well, y'all that are from up north and have never seen them, you figure it out. And you can pull them apart. And there are singles. He's not a love bug yet. Nor is he or she. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful pollen footage. Well, folks, that is it for today. I am inside in my recliner. I'm showered and cleaned up, and it's lunchtime. Time to come in. Hottest part of the day, anyway. And a lot of pollen coming in, and as I explained, I don't like to take it in the spring at all, and I don't take it right after the flow because now bees are being replenished because, you know, they lose a lot of bees with all that work. But now they're bringing in pollen pretty heavily coming in on the fall bloom that's happening, and I'm gonna go ahead and take some of that, and just gonna be real careful with it. I don't want to take more than a couple days, so at a time, maybe, you know, 2 days, and then open it up for 2 days. You definitely don't want to rob a lot of pollen. They are still making winter bees. So, but I picked hives that are strong, hives that are bringing in plenty of pollen. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful pollen footage. There's a little bit of pollen in there. We'll dump that. Hive beetles like pollen, and ants like pollen. No, this is that Man Lake one. This one trapped like next to no pollen. So that hive, although they were bringing tons of pollen in, not this week. Oh, look at the beetles. See the beetles? Guys, the beetles are really bad this time of year. So again, not a lot of pollen this time, guys, not at all. And you saw in that one video how much they were bringing in. Yeah, that's not a lot of pollen. It's so light. But actually, I did trap a little bit at the beginning of the week when I first put them in, so I do have about half of that, but still. Alright guys, well look, that's it for today. I really do appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, if you did like the video, give it a thumbs up. And hey, don't forget to share it with your friends, your family, anybody that just enjoys watching bees. I'm going to hang out in the AC, get my cold water, rehydrate myself, and move on through my day. You guys have a wonderful day, and God bless y'all.